Good evening and welcome to Wildcat Gameday Preview. I'm Erin Lee and I'm joined by Ghanekar. So first, let's talk about Maryland, who are coming in 5-2, and they're one win away from bowl eligibility, which means that they're likely to be coming in hot. So what is the biggest concern for Northwestern as they head into game day with a 5-game losing streak?
I think the biggest concern here has to be the offense. Mike Bajakian's offensive group here, they've failed to establish themselves in the passing game and the rushing game in the last 5 games. Specifically on the rushing end, the number of rushing yards per game by this rushing unit has decreased consistently game by game the last 4 games. So they definitely need to figure things out on that end. They're going up against a Maryland defense that's pretty much subpar. The passing defense has been bottom of the Big Ten in yards allowed per game. Rushing defense has been bottom half of the Big Ten. I think that it really comes down to the quarterbacks trying to take advantage of, I guess you could say, a weak secondary here by Maryland for Northwestern's Ryan Helinski and Brendan Sullivan, if he sees the field, to kind of figure things out, hit their receivers. I think that's the biggest concern here.
Right, and next, Maryland's quarterback, Tulia Tagovailoa, who is currently listed as a game date decision with a knee injury. He has thrown for 72.5 completion percentage, which is 4th in the nation, and he's thrown for over 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns this season. So how big is this injury for Northwestern?
I think that Northwestern shouldn't place too much emphasis on it. He is game by game. If he can't play, then Maryland has a solid backup in redshirt freshman Billy Edwards Jr., who actually led their game-winning drive against Indiana last weekend. But you can't ignore the running squad here. Tagovailoa and the passing group, they only account for about half of the offense. This running, the rushing group for Maryland is really solid, led by Roman Hemby. They rank 4th in the Big Ten in rushing touchdowns and 6th in rushing yards this year. And we haven't seen a lot of strength from Northwestern's defense in stopping the run. So if their front 4 and their secondary can't bring down rushers, it's going to be a long game for the Cats here.
Right, especially considering that they gave up 42 points to Wisconsin last week. We're all hoping the defense can get it together. Lastly, there has been concern over the Northwestern running game currently. In their last 2 games, they had 79 rushing yards versus Wisconsin and 31 at Penn State. So what do they need to do to get their running game together?
I think it really starts with the blocking. Cam Porter, who's running back number 2 behind Evan Hull, actually has had negative yardage in the last 2 games. And I think that if your rusher can't get past the line of scrimmage, then that it's not only his fault, it has to be the blocking as well. So they definitely need to shore up their offensive line, make sure their gaps are being created correctly, and shielding the right way to get Porter and Hull across the line of scrimmage. I think it also comes down to a little bit better choice of run plays. Hull has only had 58 yards the last 2 games, and he's probably one of the most explosive players in the Big Ten. So I think using the run at the right time is going to be crucial here as well.
Right. We're all hoping that Northwestern can turn things around after having a 5-game losing streak. I'm Erin Lee, and I've been joined by Ghanekar. Thank you for joining us for Wildcat Game Day Preview.